Audio and sound effects in this video were created using audio.com. Use the link in the description to get 10% off.
Hello everybody, welcome to Filmmaking today. Bokeh and Dulabic here. So, are you looking for an inexpensive 135mm vintage lens? Stay tuned.
This is the Opticam Auto 135mm f2.8 vintage lens. This lens has an M42 screw-on mount and has a minimum focusing distance of 1.2 meters. Let's take a look at the hardware. My specific copy came in a bit of a rough shape, so I had to fix it up a bit. Everything works fine now, but the lens grip was almost entirely gone, so I removed it completely. On the lens you will find an aperture ring that goes from 2.8 all the way to 22, and a focus ring that goes from infinity down to 1.2 meters. As mentioned, this is an M42 screw mount, which means you will need an adapter in order to use it with a digital camera. In my case, I use an M42 to micro four thirds adapter. You simply screw the adapter onto the lens until it's tight. Let's take a look at the bokeh. This is what it looks like at the various f-stops. Now let's take a look at the sharpness. At 400 times zoomed in the center, wide open, the lens is definitely soft. When you step down to f-stop 4, it gets sharper, and at 5.6, it gets even better. And it stays the same all the way to f-stop 22. When we look at the corners, wide open, it's also a bit soft, but gets a bit better when you stop down to 5.6, and stays the same until you step down to 11, which is the sharpest this lens gets when it comes to the corners. Now let's take a look at some photos and videos taken with this lens.
Alright, so as you can see, this is a very interesting lens. So when it comes to photography, I think it's a fine lens to be used. It does give you an interesting look, right? I think the bokeh is fine, all that stuff. Not so sure about video. I don't know. I couldn't really get it sharp. It always had the soft feel to it, right? So unless that's what you're going for, I'm not really going to recommend it for video. For photos, yeah, I think this is a fine lens. I couldn't really find too much about it in my research. Couldn't really find too much about it, yeah, I don't know. I think it's one of those lenses that depending on the price, obviously, it might be a fine lens to be used. Not so sure if I want to use this for professional gigs or anything like that, but I think for your own stuff, or like I said, if you're going for an interesting look in terms of photography, yeah, I think it'll be fine. But this is, I think, more of a experimental type of a lens, and like I said, it all depends on the price, right? Unfortunately, mine, like I said, did not have the grip, or I had just a little bit of it, so I got rid of the rest of it. Other than that, I mean, it works fine. Everything else is fine. It's just the grip, but I mean, you can put that back on if you want. There are ways to replace that and all that stuff. But other than that, yeah, it's a fine lens. I would definitely use it for, like I said, for myself, primarily for photography and all that. But I wouldn't use this for professional gigs and not really for video. So that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, tell your friends, all that good stuff, and stay tuned for more. Thanks.